If you're looking for a fun mini vacation just a short drive away, we have some ideas for you today on City Corner, which is coming up next. I'm Steve Potter, and welcome to City Corner. Michelle Ochonicky is the arts editor of Healthy Planet magazine, The Healthy Planet magazine. We call her Mike. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Steve. It's nice to be here.
Good to see you. We have you on a couple times a year because as the editor, the arts editor for The Healthy Planet magazine, you promote local arts events of one kind or another, and you usually come on a couple times a year to tell us about things going on. But you came up with sort of a new idea which really makes sense in the times we're living in now.
Well, it's August, first of all, and everybody's eager to get out of town one last time, right?
And a lot of people haven't been out of town for a couple of years.
That's true. Yeah. And they're looking for short things to do to finish up the summer. We're all getting tired of the heat. There's also just so many art opportunities in what I call just a short drive within a few hours. So we can have a lot of fun seeing some different things, taking the family along, and make it a road trip.
Then this really hits with me because I love short road trips, and I do a mini version of. I've always done that myself. I'll drive like to some small town an hour away I've never been to before, and spend an hour or two looking around. Now that's sort of the concept we're using here today.
It is, with an artful twist.
Right, and I have this wonderfully designed map that you came up with. And this is a map of our geographic area, and these are some of the spots we're going to be talking about today. Tell me your concept here.
It's just a nice big loop, and I've got mileages that we're going to talk about on each stop along the way, and I plotted them all from the arch, so we know about how far they are. Please remember, though, that you can't do this whole drive in one day.
Right.
This is
so just to give people a little preview, the map I just showed you right here. When you see those stars and things, that's St. Charles, Missouri, Belleville, Illinois, Mount Vernon, Illinois, Paducah, Kentucky, St. Genevieve, Missouri, Chillicathe, Missouri, Marceline. Do you know that's the one I've never heard of Marceline? Marceline, Missouri, and then Steelville, Missouri.
Right.
So what I think is really neat is, as you say, these are all pretty within an hour or so drive, and I bet I'm not the only one that hasn't been to all of them.
No, you certainly aren't. And there's just a wealth of things that you can do in all these places.
All right. Have you been to each and every one?
I actually have.
Well, let's start close to home.
Okay.
St. Charles, Missouri is, of course, just down the road from us.
It is 26 miles from the arch, 31 minutes. So it's a quick drive. And when you get to, everybody goes to St. Charles to all the little shops along Main Street. But if you go to the end of Main Street, you're going to see the Foundry Arts Center, which was originally built by the American Car and Foundry Company.
So this is an old picture
This is an old picture from the 1920s. They started building railroad cars there at the end of the 1800s.
Is this downtown somewhere?
It's at the end of Main Street. Just take Main till it ends, and it ends in the Foundry. So for a long time, this building sat vacant, and then St. Charles got the idea and some visionaries to remodel it into an arts center. So it now looks like this. There are two large gallery spaces where exhibitions change about every month. There's also a gift shop on the first floor. But the second area, this is For Women for 3 Seasons by Ada Rosenblith. On the second floor, that catwalk goes all the way around the Foundry, and each little pocket has an artist's studio in it. So you can watch artists working, you can talk with them, you can buy work directly from them. It's a great place to go.
Is this part of city government, or is this a non-for-profit, or do you have any idea?
It was non-for-profit. I think now it is somehow affiliated with Parks and Recreation.
Huh. And what's neat about all these ideas we're talking about, like if St. Charles, we'd go there for a couple of hours. Yeah. If it's one of these other places, you could go all day or maybe even spend the night if you wanted to, right?
Well, and this I put together, that's indoors. So if it's raining or if it's hot, like it's been, you can at least get inside out of the heat for a little bit.
Another place close I go to every once in a while, but probably Now, the place that you're going to talk about, because I love their little downtown, is it a circle? I always want to call it a square, but it's a circle.
It's a circle, but they call it the square.
Okay, that's why I was confused. We're talking about Belleville, Illinois.
Yes. Belleville, Illinois, 19 miles from the Arch, 26-minute drive. And Belleville has several art events. We're going to take a peek at those in a minute. But the main thing that I like to talk about is the Lincoln Theater that people don't even remember. It was built in 1921, and then it just fell into disrepair. And between 1980 and 2000, it was painstakingly restored. And so now it still shows first-run movies. The Belleville Philharmonic performs there, as well as some children's theater and live entertainment. But the cool thing is, on Friday and Saturday nights, the original auditorium's pipe organ is there, and an organist performs before screenings, movie screenings, or whatever. So it's a neat slice of the past.
I was there for the first time just like last year.
Oh, you really? Did you like it?
Yes, I did.
It's pretty neat.
It's nice and like updated inside.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives you that old time feel.
Oh, yeah. And it's just nice to walk around that whole area in Belleville. It's full of lots of little shops and boutiques.
What's this? Oh, that's
well,
the
of course,
circle.
in May, it's Art on the Square, which is a circle. Every May, artists come from all over the country and exhibit their wares. It's a big competition show, so you see the best of the best. And they have their artwork for sale. You can talk directly with the artist and buy from them. So that's a lot of fun in May. And then in November and December is the Christkindl Market. And it's just like a European Christmas market. In fact, a lot of the exhibitors are from Europe.
Really?
So you can get your mug of Gluhwein. Have you ever had Gluhwein?
No.
Gluhwein. Oh, I've been to Christmas markets in Europe, and the first thing you have to do is you go to the Gluhwein stand and you get your mug of Gluhwein. It's hot spiced wine, and I will admit, I don't like it, but after the first sip, as my cousin once told me, is necessary because it's cold, and so you need to have something to warm you up. So Gluhwein, and then you can shop at all the marks.
I'd never heard. Yeah, downtown Belleville's neat too, because I remember the one time I went to the Lincoln Theater, I couldn't tell you what it was. There was a little restaurant right across the street. I went over and ate there, and so there's a nice kind of little cozy atmosphere.
Yeah, it really is. It's so close to home, so close to St. Louis.
Okay, well, why don't we, St. Charles and Belleville, we could almost walk there. Let's go out just a little bit further.
Okay, so we're in the car, and we're going to drive 84 miles, 1 hour, 24 minutes to Mount Vernon, Illinois.
What can you tell me about Mount? Most people just know it as it's on the highway if you're going to Louisville.
Yep, and you usually stop there and get gas on the way,
Yes.
right? Everybody stops. But if you go into town, you're going to find the Cedarhurst Center for the Arts. And it is awesome. This is the Mitchell Museum. John and Eleanor Mitchell were an incredible couple who traveled the world and bought artwork. They especially loved 19th and 20th century art, and they collected it throughout their lives. In 1965, they decided they had no one to leave all of this to, and so they formed a foundation to build this museum. By the way, they were the founders for WMIX FM radio.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I would listen on the way to Louisville.
Oh, yeah.
Driving through Mount Vernon.
It had the highest FM tower outside of Chicago.
Wow.
Well, anyway, unfortunately, they didn't live long enough to see the museum unveiled in 1973, but this is an interior shot of some of their vast collection. It's an amazing art collection. But they also host all kinds of rotating exhibitions. And they had a sense in Mount Vernon that not everyone likes highbrow art. So they also include some other kind of fun things. For example, September 25th, there's an exhibition coming up called Ironclad, and it's the art of motorcycles. So if you think, oh, I don't like art, go and take this in, because you're going to see motorcycles that are sculptural
So
as well
it's
as
not paintings
painted.
of motorcycles, it's motorcycles that are used as a canvas.
Yes to both, yes. The way they're painted, the way they're made, the way they're designed. So sure to attract the person in your family that says, I don't care for art.
Right.
They're going to love this. And then they recently had another exhibition we're going to see in just a moment.
Is this the families?
Yes,
Okay,
it
now-
was called Awkward Family Portraits.
It's called Awkward Family Portraits, which of course we all have.
Yes.
So what
Santa's got a black
What
eye.
happened to Santa?
I don't know. But you have to realize that someone paid a professional photographer to take this lovely snapshot and to memorialize this visit. And of course, we've all got these, right?
Well, not exactly. My hair was funny looking, but not like that. It was different funny looking.
I tried. I could never get
Let
mine
me guess,
quite like that.
1976?
Probably. Probably. And then this one, here's the family portrait. And then why is that child just over on the side? Oh. So I do want to reiterate, this exhibition is not up currently. This is just kind of gives you a taste of the sort of art that the Mitchell Museum likes to embrace.
And is that an upcoming one, did you say?
No,
or-
this just finished.
Just
This
finished.
is finished.
And what's this?
This is part of the outdoor sculpture exhibition. There's 33,000 square feet of museum space, and they sit on 80 acres of sculpture park. And this is the Goldman Kunst Sculpture Park that's outside the museum where you can stroll. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And they have over 73 outdoor sculptures installed on the grounds. Look at this. These pieces float.
I'm just sort of amazed. Mount Vernon?
Uh-huh. Mount Vernon.
Because like you said,
Wow.
I know Mount Vernon is the gas station, the Wendy's by the highway, and I had no idea it had a cultural thing going on.
Oh, yes, very much. It's a gorgeous setting. And then once a year in September, the weekend after Labor Day, they host the Cedarhurst Fine Art and Craft Festival. And there are artists that come from all over the country to exhibit their work. It'll be September 9th, 10th, and 11th this year. Again, to exhibit their work. It's a competition, so once again, that brings out the best artists.
Will you and Stone Hollow Studio be there?
I certainly will be there with
What-
my scrimshaw. Yes.
At your usual booth? I'm
Yes.
just guessing if you have a usual booth.
I did, but now they've kind of rearranged the grounds a little bit. After COVID, we're spaced out a little farther, of course. But it's a beautiful setting, and one of the neat things that they have is a children's area, so bring the family and let the kids shop too.
That's Mount Vernon. Well, we'll continue. We need to take a little break, and we come back, we'll look at more. We're talking about sort of fun little mini trips you can take that's just a drive away, and we'll continue right after this.
Operation Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination. But don't just imagine. Use STEM to change the world.
Who's with me?
Oh, it's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
The Missouri Botanical Garden is loved by green thumbs and non-gardening types alike because you can play. You can relax. And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. And learn about conservation and one-of-a-kind plants. So come and experience St. Louis.
It's so sad. It's not.
If you smoked, this new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SaveByTheScan.org.
Oh, have you seen that piece on the Tiffany neighborhood on STL TV?
No.
Let me show you.
My wife and I were looking for homes. We lived in the city all of her life, and there's just a different energy when you're in the city.
Keep up with what's happening in your neighborhood. Watch STL TV. Be in the know.
Selfie. Nailed it.
I'm Steve Potter, and welcome back to City Corner. Mike Ochonicky is the arts editor for The Healthy Planet magazine, and she joins us a couple of times a year to just talk about and promote arts activities going on. The show today is a little bit different because we decided, Mike, since everyone's like us and has been cooped up for a couple of years and half of us haven't been anywhere, what would be some fun places that we could just make a day trip out of if that's all we could do? And you came up with some great ideas, and that's what we're talking about. But let me ask you real quick about the Healthy Planet magazine, because I know there are some changes that have happened there since the last time I saw you. And why don't you talk a little bit? There's new ownership, and so what does that mean?
Well, our founder and publisher, J.B. Lester, is easing into a well-deserved retirement. And so the magazine has been sold to a new publisher, Susan Hunt Bradford. Hello, new boss. And the news there is that during the pandemic, we went to strictly online. We'll still be online, but starting in October, fingers crossed, we're also going to be publishing in print.
I'm so excited. I'm the old-fashioned person. I like to see the papers, and I used to see the Healthy Planet out at, I don't know, Whole Foods and places like that, and I've missed it, so that's exciting.
Yeah, so we're coming back.
So people can go see it online anytime they want, thehealthyplanet.com.
That's right.
All right, and you're the arts editor, and you always have a bunch of stuff in there.
Artful Living.
Artful Living is the name of the column. Right, so what we're talking about today is you came up with these ideas. I put the map away, but within an hour or two of driving from like the St. Louis metropolitan area. So a fun day trip.
That's right.
All right, and we've talked about a bunch of places already, and we're kind of reaching out, expanding our reach a little bit. Paducah, Kentucky. I'm a little familiar with it because a million years ago I went to college for a couple of years down in Murray, and Paducah was the big town close by. But it's a river town.
It is. It's a river town just like St. Louis. It's on the Ohio River. And a lot of people don't think about Paducah as a center for the arts, but it is. In fact, in 2013, the United Nations and UNESCO named it as a creative city.
What's this we're looking at?
This is the National Museum of Quilts. And the National Quilt Museum, before you say, I don't want to look at quilts, these are not your grandma's quilts.
Wait a minute, I like my grandma's quilt.
Well, they are cozy, that's for sure. But these are just amazing works of art. There are over 600 quilts on display at any one time in the museum. They have over 100,000 visitors each year. This is 12th Night Vision by Laura Pomes. So you can see they're not your average type of quilt. They're amazing works of art. They just use fabric instead of paint. So that's located right downtown. And then while you're there, you can go into a section called the Lowertown Arts District.
Is that the one I've read about? It was, I don't know, it was a year ago or 3 years ago. I read some interesting articles about a group of people like in an old downtown part of downtown, I think it was sort of run down, that they had big plans to kind of revive it, bring artists there, make it an arts community.
This area was totally run down. Abandoned buildings, just derelict is probably the best word that you can use to describe it. So a number of years ago, they started this recruiting to get artists to move there.
Right.
And the buildings are multi-use. So on the first floor, there may be a boutique, the second floor might be an artist studio, the third floor might have a restaurant, and you can stroll. They have redone all of these buildings. They have several events that they call Paducah After Dark, that they have different events. Musicians will be performing out on the street. It's totally hip, totally alive, just a vibrant area. It's also home to the Paducah School of Art and Design. So there's lots of activities.
And I don't know if you mentioned how close it is, but if you don't think about it, you think of Kentucky being so far away. But if you look at a map, Kentucky touches Missouri down where Paducah is.
We are 175 miles, 2 hours and 42 minutes from the Arch.
Closer than Kansas City. Right.
It's a short jaunt. And then also while you're downtown, you can see the flood walls. And Paducah had issues with flooding, so they built this flood wall.
Wow.
And then they brought in Robert Dafford from Louisville, Kentucky, from Louisiana, and he designed murals to be painted along the flood wall that depict the history of Paducah.
They look really high quality.
They're awesome. And in the summer, there'll be musical performances. Sometimes they put on a historic pageant where people move their lawn chairs from backdrop to backdrop. Instead of the scenery changing, the people have to move. It's a beautiful work of art installed right along the walkway. So it's a great place to get out and stretch your legs.
I'm going to put that on my list. Here's our next place is down south too, only in Missouri. And I feel funny about this one because I've known about it forever. I've heard about it, read about it. It's so close. I have never been to St. Genevieve.
Oh, you've got to go. St. Genevieve is the oldest European settlement west of the Mississippi. It was founded in 1735.
Pretty much directly south of St. Louis, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
60 miles, 1 hour, 30 minutes from the Arch. Straight down 55. You can't miss it. Their downtown area is very walkable, and in 2020, the National Parks Foundation named it a national park.
Isn't there a lot of old architecture?
Tons of old French architecture
Right.
that's all been preserved, as well as a lot of artist galleries. The Fourth Friday Art Walk, this is the Maison Beckett Ribault House, and it's a very typical French vertical post design. And they're all open to the public, so you can go in and tour them. Each August, this year it's August 13th and 14th, there'll be the Jour de Fête, which is an outdoor festival of arts and crafts, one of those festivals of something for everyone, all ranges from hobbyists to professional artists. And then there are a lot of art galleries like this. Tom and Pat Hooper own ASL Pewter. And this is some of their pieces they make by hand.
Wow.
Tom and Pat are just a wonderful couple. They're so much fun. And they designed all of the pieces for the TV miniseries John Adams. And this is just some of theirs. They also push pewter to some very contemporary things like this. It's done with alcohol-based inks. So they're adding color into the pewter. It's beautiful work. And if you stop in, they're probably working on a piece. You'll get to watch them make it and talk with them.
I'm not asking for specifics, but this has got to be expensive stuff.
Oh, you would think so. And pewter is. It can be very costly. But some of the pieces can be as little as $35 or so.
What's this?
Oh, and this is Sassafras Creek Originals, which is the gallery owned by Candy Mahurin. She paints game boards, and she makes band boxes and all kinds of historic reproduction pieces. Plus, in her gallery, she also has a lot of work by other artists, like Stonehouse Studio. Scrimshaw can be found there. But there's beautiful historic reproductions, all done by hand, made by contemporary artists.
St. Genevieve.
St. Genevieve, gotta go.
There's another little two communities we want to touch on now, and you've kind of connected them for some reason.
Yeah, Chillicathe, Missouri is a little bit farther of a drive. It's 244 miles, so 3 hours.
And where
a few
exactly,
minutes.
what direction?
Highway 39, northwest of St. Louis. And it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Why?
Because that's where sliced bread originated.
You gotta be kidding.
Nope, it's the home of sliced bread. Chillicathe doesn't have a whole
I'm sold.
You just gotta go. And they have a nice arts center right in the middle of town, but they also decided that they should promote this best thing since sliced bread. So they're a mural city. And there are murals painted on all of the buildings in the downtown district. It's a great place to walk and see some of the murals. Like I said, it's a small town. It's got a little town square, but the murals are fun. This, I like to point out, you see this brickwork? That's not brick, that's all painted.
What?
This is on a solid slab building, and it was all painted. So the murals are really cool and confusing sometimes. You can't tell what's what.
No, that looks real to me.
It does. Just down the street is Marceline Missouri, and that's Walt Disney's hometown.
I knew he was from somewhere around here.
There you go. So if you like cartoon art and some of Walt Disney's things, this is the museum that's dedicated to him. You can see
And there's the man himself.
there's him. You can see murals or models of Disneyland and Disney World, how he planned to make it. It's a fun day indoors too.
Well, you know, he's kind of in his own category. Disney, it's touched every generation forever.
So you got to go, right?
Yeah. Anything else there?
Well, we have one last trip home. On the way home, let's stop through Steelville, Missouri.
And I've never been there.
Well, everybody goes there for floating, but they have a very vibrant arts council. Their arts council started the canoe project. So there are canoes all over town that are used as exhibitions.
So they're on a waterway?
They are. They're on the Merrimack and the Current. They're
Oh.
close to both. Gallery Zeke hosts some high-end art exhibitions. They also have Heartland Arts, which features local crafts, and they also own the Merrimack Music Theater. This is some of the things you'll find in Heartland Arts, very nice quality, fine crafts, pottery, glass, paintings, etc. So it's one that you just got to take in while you're there. And then to go to Steelville on Highway 19, you got to pass right through Cuba, Missouri, and it too has lots of murals. So
Really?
again, get out, stretch your legs, walk through town, and look at all the murals.
Yeah, there's an organization right now trying to connect some highways through Missouri to go through all these little places like you're talking about, kind of make it a tour.
They're
And
fun.
that's in the talking stage, but I hope they really do it.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Those sleepy little towns are very lively and lots of arts going on there, whether performing arts or visual arts.
Well, we've just got less than a minute left, but how about Stone Hollow Studios? That's your place. Can people come there too, like they can these other places?
Well, no, we're so tiny, we're not open to the public, but I do have a website, stonehollowstudio.com, and I will be at the Cedarhurst Art and Craft Show the first weekend after Labor Day in Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And of course, Mike, you're the arts editor for The Healthy Planet magazine. As you said, you can find that online at thehealthyplanet.com. And you said, fingers crossed, we're actually going to see the paper version back out.
Hopefully the October issue will be on newsstands.
Okay, anything exciting you're working on right now?
No, that's gearing up for the fall season. It always is a busy time for the arts.
Well, Mike, you did it great. I know a lot of people have been cooped up the last couple of years, haven't gone anywhere, done anything. To have places that are drivable like this, that you can spend a day or maybe 2 days if you want to, or just a few hours, is really a great idea. And I'm going to check out some of your suggestions, and I'm sure other people will too.
There you go, hit the road.
So you come out a couple of times a year. We'll see you in the spring maybe, and you can preview some arts things coming up in the spring.
Sounds good. See
Thank
you
you,
then.
Mike.
Thanks, Steve.
I'm Steve Potter. Thanks for watching City Corner, and I hope you'll join us next time. Have fun on the road.